Hello to all astrology lovers. Today I want to discuss the transit of the planet Venus through the zodiac sign Aries, and it started on February 4th in 2025, and in this video we will discuss the direct motion of Venus, but since Venus is currently in a loop, it's preparing for retrograde, and about this we'll talk about additional videos on the channel. It will be retrograde in Aries and Pisces this spring, and we will definitely look at all the energies sheen of Venus during this period. Well, before we discuss the characteristics of Venus in Aries, let me remind you that this planet in astrology is responsible for love, for harmony, for aesthetics, for beauty, for personal relationships, for our finances, sensual pleasures, creativity in our lives. It's connected to how we perceive beauty, art, relationships, ways of expressing attachment. This also shows us Venus, our affinities for other people. And of course, depending on its position in the natal chart, depending on the aspects, the transits of Venus can manifest both positively and negatively. In a positive aspect, Venus definitely gives us very harmonious personal relationships. We openly and freely express our affection and care and maintain balance in our relationships. In a positive aspect, Venus gives us ease in communication, ease in expressing our emotions and feelings. Here, themes of aesthetics and creativity can also come to the forefront when Venus expresses itself positively because it promotes beauty and harmony. It's about good taste. It's about a tendency to creative self-expression and the desire to beautify spaces, engage in music, design, and art. Of course, it's about attractiveness and charm, certainly. Venus in a positive aspect gives us heightened vibrations, very cool harmonious states. And also, Venus in a positive aspect gives us financial luck. It governs our money, especially in the context of when we spend money on pleasure, luxury, and art. And of course, it gives us the opportunity to earn money, especially through creative endeavors or work in the fields of beauty and art. Venus, in its negative aspects, of course, is about manifestations like superficiality in relationships, excessive attachment to something external, and an overdependence on the opinions of others. Venus in minus can give laziness, can give escape from difficulties. It can give an inability to have serious personal relationships. It gives excessive cravings. To luxury, such materialism, very strong materialism, when we are very attached to external material goods. Well, I will also remind you that in principle, the energies of any planet manifest themselves on 3 levels, including Venus, physical, emotional, and mental. What is important here is that the mental level is primary for us. The emotional level is always secondary, and only last of all do the energies of any planet, including Venus, manifest themselves on the physical level. The only thing that needs to be taken into account is that the energies of personal planets, they are faster in manifestation, and the energy of social and higher planets, of course, manifests itself much longer, that is, from 1 year to 3 years, or even in large cycles, for example, as cycles of 15 to 20 years. So, let's take a look at how Venus behaves in Aries. These are, of course, completely different energies than Venus in Pisces. And here a period opens up for us when the planet of love, beauty, and relationships, it has already moved into a sign that is ruled by the active, passionate, and impulsive Mars. Venus in Aries creates a very energetic, even somewhat aggressive expression of love, values, and attitude towards money. And this, of course, significantly influences our personal relationships, our aesthetic preferences, and our financial decisions. Well, let's also take a detailed look at what aspects Venus will make during this transit. First of all, Venus in Aries and its transit through this zodiac sign undoubtedly brings impulsiveness and adds dynamism to our personal relationships. We seek new, exciting acquaintances, and we often act without much thought at all. In romantic relationships, you can expect a surge of passion, the desire to act, the desire for quick changes in one's life. Venus in Aries. In Aries, it tends to attract people who are not afraid of risk, who definitely prefer new emotions, and who want excitement in their relationships. And this can mean the beginning of tumultuous romantic connections, but not always stable ones. Here, the transit of Venus in Aries can create situations, for example, romantic encounters that arise very quickly and with a lot of emotional intensity. Here, it may be there will be more passion and a desire for independence in relationships. Here, there may be a strong need to be first in love, a drive for victory, or a desire for dominance in personal life. And here, Venus in Aries can create opportunities in relationships for many to enter into new ones without much thought, based on physical attraction, and appeal. The theme of creativity and self-expression also comes to the forefront during this transit, because Venus in Aries inspires us to engage in creative activity. It manifests in our desire for novelty, for self-expression, and for showcasing individuality. We may strive to create something completely new, unconventional, with unexpected results. This is also a period when there's a strong urge to quickly and boldly assert ourselves, to showcase our talents and creativity, regardless of how it's perceived by those around us. And here in this context, situations may arise when we want to stand out specifically in the areas of art, fashion, and design. We have a desire to create something completely new and original. We are making very bold decisions in our personal and professional creativity. We attract to ourselves more attention than usual, especially through our style. If we touch on financial aspects, then at this level, Venus can bring sudden, spontaneous decisions regarding purchases, especially if it's something that it catches our eye right here. And we can do it here too. Be predisposed to impulsive purchases that specifically relate to our appearance, our self-expression, like jewelry and fashion. Here, Aries is not prone to long contemplation. And during this period, of course, Venus does everything possible to take risks, specifically in financial matters, and it can create situations here related to impulsive purchases based on our desires and attractions. And here we have this heightened desire to acquire things that specifically highlight our individuality. There are definitely financial risks here. Here, excessive spending is possible. Expenses. But there are also opportunities for big, high rewards and new sources of income. Now let's take a closer look at the aspects that Venus will make during its transit through the zodiac sign of Aries. First of all, at the beginning of the transit, Venus has just moved out of conjunction with Neptune and the North Node. And at the start of its transit, it is in a sextile with Pluto in Aquarius until the middle of the month of its transit. It is in sextile with Pluto Aquarius until mid-month. That is, here it is. There is an energy that you need to catch and use to your advantage. And Venus will make the themes here much more intense, deep, emotional, and transformative. On February 15th, a sextile with direct Jupiter in Gemini is added. And this aspect creates excellent opportunities to expand personal and social connections and to realize creative projects. It will bring more optimism into our lives, and it will create a positive attitude in relationships and financial matters. Venus in Aries is very dynamic. This desire for initiative and personal freedom in relationships. And Jupiter in Gemini, considering that it is already direct, gives a lot of energy and communication. It gives us opportunities to broaden our horizons, to learn and to travel. And the sextile between these planets activates opportunities for easy and successful negotiations, for meetings with people who can inspire us with new ideas and projects. In personal relationships, there can really be more freedom and fewer restrictions. And here there are exactly those harmonious, supportive energies that positively influence mutual understanding between people. Financially, this is a very favorable period for investments, for deals, and for any new ventures to be continued, where a lot of communication and information exchange is required. Let's say on a psychological level, this aspect will promote openness, meaning a new kind of perception, a desire to learn, to help those around us, and also to unlock our potential. Overall, it's a very good time for taking active steps, especially in social matters, and for making beneficial agreements. Expanding your circle of communication. On February 18th, we have a square with the asteroid Vesta, which is located in Capricorn. And here, this aspect can create tension between our personal desires and obligations, as well as between the urge for freedom and the need to adhere to strict rules. Venus in Aries often shows an energetic drive for new beginnings, especially in personal relationships, creativity, and finances. It emphasizes personal independence, highlighting this dynamic of interactions. The asteroid Vesta in Capricorn, of course, focuses attention on long-term commitments, discipline, and stability in social and professional spheres. And here the aspect can manifest in situations where our desire for personal pleasures, either in romantic relationships or in creative projects, we face very strict demands from the outside world related to career themes, authority, and societal expectations. Here, internal conflicts can arise between the desire to act quickly without considering the consequences and the necessity to follow established rules and long-term plans. In addition, the square can intensify the tendency to exaggerate our feelings and desires. And this can also create tension in relationships or moments when our ambitions and personal needs become a real source of stress for ourselves. So this can be a time when it's important to learn to balance between personal aspirations and external responsibilities, avoiding impulsive decisions, which can to play out in the long run in our lives. Basically, these two aspects are at play throughout the entire transit of Venus through Aries. On February 27th, Venus will go into a stationary position at 11 degrees of Aries. And here I want to draw attention specifically to the symbolism of this degree. It is represented by the ruler of the nation, and the main interpretation of this symbol is related to the power that arises specifically from collective desire for order. That is, in simple terms, a symbol, 11 degrees. Aries describes the transition to a stage where our personal ego begins to be perceived as the center around which order is built. And in this phase, either individually or as a group, we strive to establish control and we strive to manage our own emotional impulses and instincts while also organizing collective desires. So this is a kind of central authority that is based on, specifically on social structures, on discipline, on laws. And here this symbol also tells us that it is beginning a period of very strong self-control when we try to manage not only external circumstances, but we specifically try to manage our internal reactions And this, of course, gives a more rigid and structured consciousness. On a deeper level, this symbolizes the development of a more organized, more responsible approach to our lives. And here, our personal will comes to the forefront, meaning it strives to manage both the internal and external processes of our lives. And here, when Venus is in Aries, they're at 11 degrees, also in a stationary position, its energy manifests especially intensely. This is the desire for active, vivid manifestations of love, passion, creativity, self-expression in this degree. It will be emphasized through the need for independence, both in relationships and in wanting to be first, and to express oneself from a leadership position, or to initiate something in one's personal life or in the business sphere. In this position, Venus makes each of us rethink our values or our approaches to partnership and personal relationships. It makes us feel a lack of confidence or confusion regarding love and beauty. This is also a period when our desires and emotions can get stuck in place. They can create tension in our relationships, or the desire to receive, for example, recognition from a partner, colleagues, or superiors. And here we may be faced with the need to reconsider our views on personal interest, on friendly connections, on personal relationships, and to realize that it's time to change our approach in these areas of life. Venus is preparing us for a very interesting period when a completely new approach to love, expressing feelings, personal relationships, and financial matters will take shape. On March 4th, 2025, Venus becomes completely retrograde for 40 days. The features of this transit, as I mentioned, will be discussed in additional videos. In addition, in the video, we will talk about the symbolism, and we will take a detailed look at the energies, how they will affect us specifically in terms of Venus being retrograde. Now, I suggest to consider the influence of Venus in Aries for each of the 12 zodiac signs. Sagittarius, Venus in Aries is moving through your 5th house of the horoscope. I think that this Venus transit is something one can only dream of when it occurs in the 5th or 7th house. Nevertheless, here Venus will also be putting things in order during its retrograde motion. Well, for now, Venus is direct. It highlights your attention on your creative projects, initiatives, and pleasures in life. Leisure, romantic relationships, and interactions with your children. And here, there will be special attention to your creative potential, because after all, Venus is responsible for creativity and aesthetics, among other things. And here are the energies of Venus. They will manifest through a desire for ease, through an attraction to lightness and enthusiasm. In our 5th house, we also have hobbies. You will want to enjoy life more. In fact, during this transit, and Venus in Aries will create opportunities for you to have new romantic encounters. Interesting. Situation related to flirting. That is a period when it is very easy to enter into bright, exciting, short-term relationships and enjoy light, vivid moments. In terms of romance, there will be creative breakthroughs. If you are passionate about creativity, here you can realize your creative ambitions. In fact, it doesn't matter what forms of creativity. Nevertheless, the transit will also create situations for relaxation, adventures, activities of ease, joy. It's very good to interact with children. Spend more time with them. And in general, to ground the energy of this transit, it's essential to pay attention to these areas of life. Engage more in creativity, relax, pursue your hobbies. Do what brings you more joy. Be sure to pay attention to romance, romantic moments, gestures, and more attention to children for whom it is relevant. I wish you success. Subscribe, like, share this video. Bye-bye.